Welcome to this edition of iTalk Movies on the Popcorn Talk. Today I'm talking to Sunny Mabrey about the exciting sci-fi thriller Beyond the Trek. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
So we'll jam. I like the music. It almost feels like summer vibe though. A little bit.
Yeah, it does. I listen to this the entire summer, so it's stuck in my head still.
Hey, it's all good. I mean, it's a little warmer today, so summer's still around for us in Southern California.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Kari. D-L-A-N-E. I had a moment where I'm like, wait, what? And today I have my guest, Sunny Mabrey, who is in this new exciting thriller called Beyond the Trek. Welcome, Sunny.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and where can people find you online?
Well, on Twitter, I'm at Sunny Mabrey, and M-A-B-R-E-Y. It's not Mayberry like the show. It's no Y in the middle. Anyway, and I'm pretty much that same handle across the board.
Nice.
Snapchat, Instagram.
Make it easy.
Yes.
Cool. Nice. So, there's this new sci-fi movie that you're a part of called Beyond the Trek, but it was originally called Telios, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, do you know about when the name change happened?
I think it was pretty recently when
Okay.
the distribution happened and we got our little deal to go to VOD, and somebody decided that was a better name, apparently. I was
Titles
not in that
change.
decision-making process.
You're like, I was not in the room at that time.
No.
Okay.
But Telios, I know, is the Greek word that means perfect, and that's pretty descriptive of the film. And
Well, it's the name of the ship, too, so,
Exactly.
it comes up, and
yes.
so if you guys look up the film, you'll find it. But I know when I looked it up on IMDb, if you did Telios, it said both, so.
Right.
But that happens. Some movies have both.
Yeah, searchable either way, I think.
Exactly. So the film is available now on VOD and DVD at Walmart. And the film, you want to give a basic plot description of the movie?
Sure. Refreshing
Without
memory.
revealing too much, because there's a lot that does happen. So
Yes.
it's like, don't want to spoil anything.
Yes, there are fortunately things that happen. So there is a ship that is stranded way out in deep space called the Atromatos, and we believe everybody on board to be dead. And we are a mission sent to go recover the cargo. And we don't believe anyone is there to be rescued. And it's basically the story of us going to find out what's out there.
Nice. And then something kind of cool that they say right away, so this isn't spoiler for anybody, but you're essentially a genetically engineered human.
Right.
So I like that timeline at the beginning of the film. It kind of has like 2000, I think it's 2015 is the first year. It's like they start genetically doing things, which it was cool because you kind of go, oh yeah, this is a logical progression, because then later it goes, later it becomes commercialized, then it's like specific traits. Did you, as an actor, and any of the fellow actors, do anything different to be the enhanced human, essentially?
Just first of all, I was very flattered to think that I fit this role. We found out some things later about my character, which are interesting. But yeah, we laugh daily about the fact that we were all supposed to be perfect humans. But I think, just making sure that for me, I was one of the leaders of the ship. My title was first mate. There was a captain, Captain Linden, who is played by Lance Broadway, and he's having some issues. So I think I have to step up and be the captain for most of the movie. So anyway, what was the question again?
Oh, no, did you do anything different as an actor to be essentially a more perfect human? Because for viewers and listeners to clarify, you guys are still essentially humans, but you've been genetically engineered over time, so they got rid of many of the faults.
Right.
There's lower to no aggression. And then later in the movie is interesting too, because they kind of mentioned that like most emotions these enhanced beings don't really have either.
Right.
It's
One
more
of
minimal.
the things with the genetic modifying is to minimize our emotions and make us more efficient with life. and leading, and especially a mission like this. But yeah, I think any work that I would have had to do physically, we were cast a little too quickly for me to make that happen. So you know, it's good that I do work out from time to time, or else I would have panicked. But yeah, mentally, mostly it was just a constant thing to have to get myself in that place mentally. But I'd say that's where it mostly was.
Yeah, because on the ship there's also a. I was like, wait, is this a spoiler? No, not a spoiler. There is a artificial intelligence. There is a robot, essentially. Android.
Right.
I forget what they call it a art. Yeah, they call it art after artificial intelligence. But like, you know, for her, it's very eyes pretty much don't blink and more relaxed face. So
Right.
that's why I was wondering if your group, I think it's like about a crew of 5. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
captain,
something like that.
you, and then there's 2 kind of, we call them tech officers, and then the doctor.
Right.
So,
Yes, I believe so.
did you all bond much? Because it's just the 4 of you,
Yeah.
mainly for most of the film.
I wish the director was here. He could help me with little bits of information because we shot it a little while ago. But yes, it was a very fast shoot, but it was so intense that we did bond because we were in a very small studio, and they had to, you know, we had to block shoot it, which is like we'll shoot everything that's in this room all at once because this is the only time we're going to build this room, you know. So it was all out of order and stuff, but it was amazing, and it felt. Excuse me. It felt very, very, I don't know, tight-knit, like we did. I had to learn some stuff for it that didn't end up in the movie that made me kind of sad. I did this, a boxing hologram, like sparring
cool.
match with myself. It was pretty amazing. It was really hard to learn. But didn't end, like I said, didn't end up in the film. But even that, like all of it was in the same 50 by 50. You know,
Little
I don't know how
space.
big
Oh,
it
wow.
was, but it was tiny.
Was that difficult to shoot it out of order? Because there are things that get revealed later that would be trying to keep mental track of, like, wait, where is my character? Where are we in the story arc?
Line producer, very important. Makeup and hair, very important. You know, thank God we're wearing the same thing almost the entire time with the same hair and the same makeup. But you know, I've had to do movies before where we don't get that luxury, and it's really confusing. You know, it's hard to keep up. Also, emotionally and mentally.
Exactly, because you have to
place.
how do you get from that like 0 to 60? Because some bits there are much more emotional scenes later,
right?
But like maybe scene 1 is nothing, but then by the time you get to like scene 20 or whatever it is,
yeah, I mean that fell a lot to the director Ian. He was really good at reminding us that we're about to walk in on, you know, somebody convulsing on the floor or getting shot, or that we're in a very tense situation when we've just left a not so tense situation, and you know, then I have to pull out my little tricks.
How was he as a director versus other projects you've worked on?
He was fantastic. He's very he's just very smart, you know. The more I talk to him, the more I realize how intelligent this man is. He has a lot of interest in this topic, and I think that's what helped. He has his own tech business right now too. He just does a lot of everything, and he really knows. I mean, he has a great memory, so when we're talking about this movie, he can tell you in perfect recollection every single part of it. I mean, he was involved in every part of it, but he was just I don't know, he's just really good at it, and he's great with the actors too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a sensitive dude. Helps a lot.
I would think too, because you have so many. The film goes through different emotional phases, so I think you would need someone to help guide you to make sure you got there.
Totally.
We do have some photos, if we could try to get those queued up, showing off some of the outfits. What was that costume like? It was very tight, those pants.
Not forgiving.
No, you looked really good.
Thank you.
Everybody looked very good in their outfits.
Thank you. Well, his Ian's wife was the costume designer. Her name's
cool.
Randall, and she was fantastic. Also, she gets it. Like, you know, you don't want to walk around in a thin piece of nothing for an entire movie, and so she gave us a lot of it was a cat suit basically, but she gives
Yeah.
a lot of support in it and made sure it was really cool looking. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm a person that like have a hard time with stuff around my neck.
Yeah, they had collars a bit.
They had collars,
Yeah.
but she gave me some help there with mine, making it so I could move around and not
Oh,
feel
good.
like
Yeah.
you know. But it was you couldn't help but feel powerful in that costume.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got
And there I am.
let's go to the
Different
crew
project.
photo. Right there at the top. Nope. Up high. Yes. So we have the whole crew here. I like that you're front and center, so that does kind of go with, even though you weren't like the commander.
Right?
Pretty much you are.
I don't know. I was kind
Yeah.
of surprised. I'm like, you want me in the front? Cool.
Yeah. So we had this nice navy, and then, but you know what? Equal opportunity. The men had just as tight of pants as the ladies.
It was really funny
Um,
watching them walk around with we'd take our tops off basically whenever it was in between shots, but we'd all be wearing like tank tops underneath. And the guys would be wearing like cut off. They had to have crop tops basically underneath because you can't. It's
Oh,
like
Too
you can't
tight to tuck it in. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I have a lot of incriminating photos
This
that
looks-
I'd love to share at some point.
This is a nice, like, more badass pose here.
Yes, under boob shot.
It's all good. And the
So
weapons were
majestic.
actually really cool too. How were those to work with?
They were
look nice and-
great. They were actually air guns, you know?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which I'd never. I mean, I've shot a few guns in my time from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's a hunter, but these were different. They were air rifles, and the prop people, and the set designer people, did such a great job of making this set look amazing, with the budget that we had. We also had projectors, so even when you see a really long hallway, that's just a projector. It's like
Oh,
we only had
wow.
a piece of it, and then we had projectors making it look like way longer than it actually was. And they were practical on set, so it wasn't in post. We got to see it as it was when we were
Oh, wow.
shooting. So
Because I watched it. I don't think I even noticed that. Then we have some more photos from this film. So this is it's not quite a cryogenic chamber. I'm like, no, it's your just sleep pods. Pretty much, you guys
Yeah.
are sleeping on your way to your destination.
yeah,
in
these are amazing.
your underwear.
Yeah, pretty much. We've been sleeping there for like, I don't know,
I think it's 2
couple
years.
years.
Yeah.
and this is my most insecure outfit of the whole thing. I was like, please don't make me wear booty shorts in a movie. And you know, I've done it before, but it was quite a few years ago. So this is, you know, I'm like, I need more time. I need more workout time. But we're just laying down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whew, that was okay. I can do that. But a funny thing is those are what we're lying in.
Yeah. What is the material?
They're straws.
Oh, okay. I
They're
was wondering
drinking
when I
straws.
watched it.
Yeah, you know it's got to be something like that because it's, if you look really closely, you can see. But it's amazing.
Yeah, they're little tubes, but I couldn't quite tell. That's,
Right.
That's really a neat way to. They lit it really well to make it look sci-fi.
Totally.
You know.
I feel like
wouldn't
every
know their
sci-fi
straws.
film has little things like this in it, little
Makes
tricks.
them unique. Yeah.
They did not feel too comfy,
No, I would think not.
I gotta say. Not in the crotch area, especially.
Then we got a few more photos here. We have the bridge. A couple Yeah. Is this? Yeah. This is kind of one of the hallways you're talking about.
Yeah, so see the honeycomb effect
Yeah.
there. That was real wood
Okay,
or
nice.
whatever they made it with. I don't know the material, but and then the hallway, all of it's real, but the blue part is projection. That's
make it
coming
look
from the
further.
outside.
Mhm.
And then the end of the hallway that looks like it goes on and on is projection also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I think I got one of the photos from the bridge. Oh yeah, this one comes out a little bit dark, but this is you guys. I think it's you and the commander walking around.
Is that me? I can't
Yeah,
tell.
I know this lady on our screen not so much, but it's you walking around like
Yeah.
I think it's when you first get there and you're kind of exploring to make sure there's nobody around. and-
Right. It's kind of like being in Qzar a little bit. Dark and
And then
neon.
I think there's one more of the bridge here of like the computer screens, which Oh, here you go. Now I like the light up too on the the jacket.
Flak
That
jackets.
looks really nice.
Thank you. I mean, not me. I didn't do it, but I love that
You
part
wear
too.
it well. then.
Thank you. It's
Make
pretty
it look
badass feature.
How was it running around? You had like wedge boot things. How was that running around in?
They were actually so comfortable, and I'm still
That's a win.
lamenting the fact that I didn't take them at the end. Not take them, but I was like, Randall, can I please buy these from you? And she's like, we gotta keep them in case we need to do reshoots.
Oh no.
But then we never did, and then I never got them, and now I'm like, I wish I had them. Wish I had those boots. I don't even know the brand. I could plug them, but I don't. I don't know.
It's one of those things of like most times in films when it's like action women, pointy heels is stupid and totally impractical. But wedges, I can go. Sure.
Yeah.
Get that, elongated leg look, but it's still a solid.
Yeah. It really does help a lot. The wedge, for some reason, supports your foot.
Did it make you feel more?
It did.
Tall and
felt
grandiose
womanly and powerful, and generally badass.
Nice. I would say your character's definitely a badass. In the
Thanks.
film.
That's kind of one of the draws that I had to the role.
You're like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, what was something that initially drew you to this character besides, like, she is badass? What made you go, I want to play this part?
Well, I love sci-fi as well. Admittedly, I'm not always on the, I'm not always watching Star Trek and things like that. I have a sort of a specific type of sci-fi that I enjoy. My dad, he likes every type, so when I'm with him, I watch every type. But mine is I lean more toward the sci-fi horror genre. And this was kind of that. I mean, and I love the opportunity to get to do something in that world. And also just the strength. And she also has a damaged quality to her, which I was really excited to explore.
What are some of your favorite sci-fi horror movies?
Oh, I felt like that might have been coming up. Oh my
You're
gosh.
like, I'm on the spot now.
Oh my gosh. I suppose I love anything post-apocalyptic.
Yes. Me too.
I suppose you could call a lot of these zombie films sci-fi horror. My favorite one would be 28 Days Later, I would say.
It's a good one.
It's pretty classically amazing. And I don't know. One thing that comes to my mind is I saw a movie the other day not the other day, like a few months ago, called I Origin. It's got what's his name? Dude from another movie I can't think of. Michael Pitt.
Okay.
He's in it, and anyway, it was so good, and that showed the OA. I like that. Stranger Things. I love that genre that's kind of like it's maybe a little in the future, or there's something sci-fi about it, and but it's also got a love story. I like that combination.
Yeah, I like that I like the love story and Beyond the Trek, actually.
Right. Game of Thrones. It's not necessarily spacey sci-fi that I always like, although I do love that too.
Well, because there is that debate, like what defines it as sci-fi? Like, it has to be in outer space? Is it futuristic? Is it tech? Like,
I know there's a lot of debate on this, especially among people on the internet. But I don't know. To me, it's just anything that's... I don't know at all. Come to think of it, how do I define sci-fi?
What is it about it what is it about science fiction that you like?
Well, I like that it's not necessarily something that is a reality in our world at present day, and it's something that we can imagine that is coming, but maybe not here yet, or just like a prediction in a way, or just totally made up fantasy. Can fantasy be sci-fi?
In a way, for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are sci-fi fantasy, so it is that, like, wiggle room of definition of what you define it. But I think that's a excellent reason to like sci-fi. Yeah, it's something that's not here now, but could be, and it's a way to explore things that don't exist.
Yeah, it's kind of an escape when I think about it.
Yeah.
A little bit of an escape of this world. But I also like space ones, like... particularly ones where people kind of stay up in space too long and they go a little crazy, like this movie. But also, what else did happen in Moon? With Sam Rockwell. He's so good, and I love the Mars movies with Matt Damon. I say two because he did two very similar ones, but they were not in the same franchise.
Close enough. Yeah.
Close enough.
If you could play any character in a science fiction film, male or female, could replace the gender, what would you pick?
I mean, Sam Rockwell's role in Moon.
Moon?
Yeah,
Nice.
would be probably one of my faves. Wouldn't be mad at Daenerys Targaryen. Wouldn't be mad at that, but I feel like I'm not quite the right type because only she is the right type at this point. You know? I'm pretty in love with her as that character, so I wouldn't want to encroach.
Could be a Halloween costume. It's coming up.
You could do it. Yeah. I'd have to get a pretty long wig.
There are plenty of those out there.
I bet there's a bunch of them at this point.
Yeah. What was the most difficult thing while you were filming Beyond the Trek?
Probably shooting out of order and shooting in the middle of summer. It was just really hot, and I don't know, I guess getting to those really emotional places with a lot of technical stuff going on around us. And there was a part of it that I spoke in French, and although I did live in Paris for a little while and I took intensive French in college, it was still really difficult because I was supposed to actually know what I was saying and supposed to be pronouncing it correctly, and that was just a lot of pressure. But other than that, I mean, it was just really fun.
It came off well. It flowed.
Thanks. I've had one person on maybe Snapchat told me that, what is this language? I am from France. Maybe they're from Quebec or something. And I was like, wow, maybe I didn't get it right.
It's futuristic French. Maybe it's morphed a little over time.
I took a little liberty with the accent.
And then were there ever any like happy accidents, like something didn't go well but then it turned out for the better?
Oh man, the only thing that I can think of that was like that is just that we broke down a piece of the set too soon, and they had to build it again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was happy though. I don't know if that was happy for them.
Did the new build work out better?
Sure.
Maybe better results?
I think it looked fantastic at the
okay.
end. So yeah, maybe that was a happy accident. Can't think of anything though. I mean, it went off pretty well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you remember, you said it was a quick shoot. Do you remember how long it was exactly?
Oh, Ian would be able to tell you, because I can't remember, but was it 2 to 4 weeks?
Okay.
I can't remember. It was very fast.
Yeah.
It might have even been like just over 2 weeks. Yeah.
And you're in most of the scenes too, so.
Yeah, it was demanding.
Yeah.
But I love it, you know.
What would be your ideal, like, sci-fi kind of role? Like, what kind of a character? Or describe that character.
Well, like what we were talking about a second ago, like the moon thing.
Yeah, like what is it about? Like, what kind of character would you want to embody and bring that to life?
Wonder Woman wouldn't be unfortunate.
No. Wonder Woman in space.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I actually loved Robin Wright's character in that movie so much. And it was, I don't know, say what you will, whoever says what they will about that movie. People have mixed opinions, but I really loved it. And the first 30 minutes was, I don't know, it just made me feel like, wow, I didn't know that I was missing that in my movie experience, but apparently I was, because I feel so gratified to see these women fighting each other like that. I mean, it sounds
totally you're
weird.
On the nose. Yeah.
But showing them like that, I mean, obviously we have figured out how to show men looking a lot more strong than they stronger than they are. Like, you know, it's the time of roid rage, I guess. There's a lot of very big men. Like, just look at the body difference in Ben-Hur and
Like what was masculine then to now, for
Yeah,
sure.
people have gotten bigger and stronger, and women have kind of, I don't know, we've stayed in this one category. I believe we've gotten stronger intellectually in movies, but physically, we haven't really seen that very much.
Not much.
Not much. There have been a few roles that I've been like, wow, it's badass to see a woman get to do, like, oh gosh, Kate Beckinsale in her big vampire. I'm bad.
Oh, yeah,
with
Underworld.
names. Underworld, yeah,
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. It's great to see that. But this was different for some reason.
Thinking back to your role for the film for Beyond the Track, I like your character does a good balance of intelligence and still commands a presence without being like, beefy. I'd pick as a word or whatever. Like she still looks strong, but is we don't need to make her take her clothes off to show that too, because that's another thing that happens so often that they're like, well, it's a girl and we're gonna like she has to be sexy and like we'll take their outfits off or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there was that was a big thing I think with the Star Trek movies. I'm blanking right now, but they like showed a character that they like put her in underwear and people are like, really, do you have to? So
Right.
that is something kind of refreshing I felt in the Beyond the Track. Is like, I mean, the other female character maybe goes down to a tank top, but then it there's something with they're doing a romance. It's not like just for objectification.
Right. It did not feel gratuitous to have her like it. Besides, she's wearing like,
it's a big tank top.
It's like an actual
like,
tank top.
Yeah.
And, yeah. It was nice for me. I think I've been on the other side of that before, and it's another thing to think about. That sometimes you just want to think about what you're doing, being in that character. But yeah, it was kind of refreshing like that. I didn't have to. There was no part of it that was in any way trying to use my femininity to get something accomplished. Only in that I feel like it was important for her to have a sensitivity that was not necessarily a masculine energy, and there was no forcing that. It was just there, and she didn't have to. She doesn't have to force it. I feel like it would have made it all wrong to make her beefy or whatever the word is.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't quite think of it, but like, I like that she still has a commanding presence without being like literally a big person,
Right. And also a lot of that had to go to Lance's character because he is going through, not to give anything away, but he's going through sort of some changes, I guess, and he's feeling aggravated about it. So my side would be more to show. I like you said, there's not much emotion, but if anyone would have some, it would. I think I would have at least an empathy. Yeah. With the other crew members.
She's also kind of the voice of reason a bit in the group too.
Right.
Of, smoothing things out, but that would probably go under the job description of like second in command of, okay, Commander, you're freaking out a little bit. Let's fix the situation.
Yeah. What's wrong with you, dude?
Exactly. Then you've had some other interesting characters as well. Snakes on a Plane. Like that's definitely one of those like, oh yeah, that movie.
Right.
What was it like to work on that?
That was probably one of the most fun sets I've been on because we shot in Vancouver for, I don't know, maybe 3 months. And we did all of it on a plane that was on a gimbal. So it was, I don't know if it was a big actual plane. It must be, because that would be easier, I guess. But it was massive, and it was like a luxury plane. And it had a spiral staircase leading up to which I'd never seen before. And it was on that gimbal, which would make it shake. And it was just, a lot of the smoke.
Oh, sure.
Daily. That part wasn't as fun, but the snakes, riot. Most people.
I was going to say, so you're not afraid of snakes?
I'm not, and I didn't know that so many people were, but apparently they are.
Yeah.
Because afterwards they were like, no, I just couldn't have done it. I would have had to turn it down, or other actors. And then, when it came out, family, like close families, like, I'm so sorry, I can't see your movie. I'm like, wow, really? None of us have had any problem with it on the set, not that I know of. But we had real snakes, and then we had CGI snakes, and then we had rubber snakes.
Yeah. Real quick, your character was a stewardess then, right?
Yeah.
Or just in case people are like, who were you on that film? And...
Yes, I was, along with Juliana Margulies and a few other great people. I was one of the flight attendants.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that was a movie that, like, if you're describing it to people, they're like, what? But then the reason of why there's snakes there totally makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
And then the movie is not as absurd as it sounds.
Yeah.
Just really fun.
Well, they didn't originally intend for the name to be Snakes on a Plane.
Oh. What was the original title?
Well, the working title was Snakes on a Plane. So they were sending around the script with that title so that we all could easily identify what it was. It was very, very
How
blunt.
many other ones have that name? Yeah, not
exactly. And then when we got there, they got our seat backs. They ordered the seat backs with our names on them.
Oh, yeah.
And it said Pacific Air 121. And we were like, wait, what? And they told us, like, no, we're changing the name. You didn't think we were going to name it Snakes on a Plane. We're like, we did. We don't know why we thought you were naming it that. Because there was some comedic moments throughout,
Sure.
There was already comedy. And
Good thing they changed their name.
I know, right?
Think of the other names. No.
Yeah. It was one of the first movies that they were able to look online and see what the reaction was before they put the movie out. One of the first times that they were able to do that. So Samuel L. Jackson likes to take all the credit for saying, if you don't change the name back, I'm going to do something. I don't remember what it was. But we were all kind of rooting for that. And they did. Yeah.
Well, it's a good choice.
It was.
And then another kind of genre, but TV show you've been on Once Upon a Time, is Glinda. How's that?
Yes.
Working on that kind of a show.
It was super fun. My husband also did a role on that show. Greg, I believe his name was, his character name. I think he was a bad guy, though. But, so anyway, he kind of...
Yeah, there we go. We have a nice photo of your outfit coming up here.
Oh, the outfit was immaculate. And the costume guys, men and women, I think they won an Emmy for this show. You know how, like, every... they pick a particular episode, I think, to highlight when the Emmy is won, and I think it was this one. And whenever they were showing the nominees, it was this picture that got shown. I was like,
You're like,
oh my goodness, it was pretty amazing.
The hair too, like it's all very ornate.
Yes, the hair. Part of that is not mine, but. I keep thinking, like, I gotta go back to blonde in case they want me back, Just keep it blonde, just in case.
And then you were kind of saying about your character, and your character is kind of in a not-so-good predicament.
Right. My character is stuck in... she got banished by the Wicked Witch of the West to an icy, terrible, cold place. Beautiful. But, freezing. I'm the Wicked Witch the not Wicked Witch of the South. I'm the Good Witch of the South. I like warm weather. It's a lot like me. And I don't know. I just feel like somebody could come. They came and got the information that they needed, and then they hightailed it out of there.
Gotta come back and rescue you.
Hello. I need help. Please.
You're like, right, come on. Maybe they think you're going to be able to rescue yourself. You're going to gain some powers.
I don't know. There was something that happened that was, like, pretty bad when she sent me away. Something, they'll come around to it. I feel that they'll get back to it, story-wise.
Are there any other projects you're working on right now that you can let viewers know about?
Yeah, I just did an episode of the show called The Librarians, which is also in that vein. I got to play, well, I don't know if they don't want you to say anything till really close to time.
You're on an episode of Librarians.
I'm going to be on that. Yeah, and when that happens, I will let you know. Tell my social peeps. Yes. But and I was on the show Typical Rick recently with Nick Swardson and Simon Rex, and I'm currently shooting a pilot of my own writing. And
ooh, exciting.
it's I don't want to say the name yet, but it's in the
Sure.
horror comedy genre
Ooh.
as well. Yeah, it's really fun.
Can you give anything about what it's about? Or
It's a sketch. It's a sketch show.
okay.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of a natural progression from the Vine world that I was kind of in. I don't know if we didn't talk about that before, but
Not yet, but we can talk about it now. You're big on social media.
Sure. Well, Vine is
Yeah.
no more, sadly, but I had some fun on there.
You can do Instagram versions of Vine.
Yeah, and I love Instagram, and I do make videos for Instagram, but I just put a lot of my Vine compilations on there too.
Oh, fun.
From back in the day. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of putting a lot of that creative sketch energy toward this pilot, so
Cool.
hopefully it will be well received.
Best of luck. That sounds exciting.
Thank
You're
you.
gonna have to let us know. We have a horror news show, so you have to tell us.
Yes,
Yay.
please.
And then anything else you want to plug before we're wrapping up?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Nice. And one more time, where can people find you online?
I am at Sunny Mabrey on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming. It was fun to talk to you about
Yeah.
Sci-Fi, Beyond the Trek. So Beyond the Trek, you guys, you can find it on VOD and DVD at Walmart now. And make sure to check her out online. Fun videos. You know, that's always fun to... I think it's fun to see different sides of actors because, like, that's a way for them to be more themselves.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I love.
So.
I'm blessed. I got to do a bunch of different genres.
Yay. Well, we look
Yeah.
forward to seeing more of those because you have a lot coming up. So
Thank
yay.
you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And you can find me online, everybody, at Kari Lane, Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.